Fraser Band for FightHype.com. I'm with my man Johnny Nelson.
What up?
What's going on, Johnny?
You good?
I'm good.
I love coming to this place. I love coming to this place. I don't know why, but every time it reminds me of. I'm trying to think which fight reminds me of. But I always look forward to the big weigh-ins here, and then the crowd going absolutely mad. But you know what? The build-up for this, even tonight, it's a real given for fans that can't afford tickets for the fight or just haven't got tickets. What an opportunity for them.
David Haye, Tony Bellew, when it was announced a couple of weeks ago, or 2 months I think now, there's a lot of mixed reaction for Tony Bellew going up to heavyweight. Do you see Tony being in a problematic situation and trying to go up to heavyweight?
I honestly don't think the weight is going to be an issue. I think Tony boxed in the heavyweight as an amateur. I think both guys' dimensions are pretty much the same. Obviously David's fought at heavyweight, so he's used to carrying that weight. Don't be surprised if Tony comes in weighing more than David. When they get on the scales, don't be surprised if David's about 15-1, Tony's about 15-3, 15-4. Do not be surprised.
What about power?
Power. So this power and this speed. David Haye has both. Tony Bellew has power, but it's generated tenfold when he lets the speed go with it as well. And I've seen him when he's hit the pads and when he takes opponents out. So he's got that sting, that explosion at the end of the shot, but he's got the speed with it as well. Whereas David Haye is a one-punch, boom, straight in and out. For him to throw through a few combinations, fast, powerful combinations, he would do it, but I think that would affect his energy levels as well. So he's just got to be smart and conservative about how he does it. I know when you get to a certain age, you've got to conserve your energy. You've got to learn how to control your opponent, control the pace of the fight. I'm not saying Tony Bellew's that much younger than David, but David's at a stage where he's big, he's strong, he's got the power, he's built for electric speed, you know. So I can't even see this going past 4 or 5 rounds, and if he does, oh my goodness, then we've got a serious fight in our hands.
Johnny, you were once, there was once a time in your life, in your career, where you wanted to come out of retirement, but your old fragile body wouldn't let you. David's not getting any younger, he's getting older.
And
he hasn't had a competitive fight. Yeah. What do you make of the rumours that, with the sun in the mirror when the tabloids just today and yesterday, about injuries, Achilles?
Listen. No matter what, David will train, and yes, his injuries will bug him in the morning when he gets up. He will be stiff in his lower back, his shoulders, or his Achilles, or whatever. That's what happens when you get older. It's just how you maintain, how you oil the body, how you make sure your body stays in decent condition. So for 12 weeks, however long it's been, he's had to train. He can't train like he do when he's 22 years old. He's had to compensate and turn it around a little bit. So yeah, injuries will be there, and we can harp on about these injuries, the shoulder and things like that. But there's no way David would have got in this ring against somebody alive like Tony Bellew if he didn't feel 100%, because bragging rights are at stake. You know, it's the end of his career. If he loses to Tony Bellew, his career's done. Yeah. And he knows that. And so I think confidence-wise, it's everything. And the way both fighters are coming up to this, I don't think health is not an issue for anybody. I think it's just about timing. Tony Bellew, he's a good student of the game, and he knows about fights and everything. And we've got to admit, when we've seen David box the last couple of times, we've not been madly impressed, thinking, well, he's all right, he's a bit flat-footed, a bit heavy. But the old David Haye, we thought, wow, you know. So Tony Bellew's now translating that into he's shot, thinking he's shot. David Haye's shot. He's got nothing left. Maybe David tapered himself for the challenge that was in front of him. That's all he did. So if it's a top-level challenge, he'd step up and think, right, that's what I've got to do. But he knew what was in front of him. So is Tony right? Has he seen something we haven't seen? Or was David just taping himself for the opponent in front of him? And that's what we're going to find out on Saturday night, because then we'll find out what David Haye has got left and how much of a force he is on the world scene on Saturday night. And it's just a gamble, and that's why is Tony right? What's Tony seen? Has he got it right, or has he just made a big mistake? Because Tony himself says David Haye was one of the best, if not the best, fighter in the world in one bit. You know, and he said that David Haye, I wouldn't stand a chance with him, but I don't think that David Haye exists anymore. Yeah. So that's his gamble.
I was in Liverpool on Monday, I know you were there as well, and the press conference was very lively. think David was rattled?
Yeah, of course it was. But listen, you know, people are going on about David, some of the things he said. I know they weren't politically correct, and I'm not defending some of the things he said. But we all say stuff when we're mad, which is not politically correct. And I heard some of the things that were being shouted to him in the crowd about his marital status, about his kids. These things are going to get you mad. So, and if you get being badgered like that, and badgered, no matter how much you try and stay cool, you're going to blow your lid. Any human being or anybody that's criticising David for the things he said, you know, they're wrong because you've got to understand where he's coming from. You've got to understand if they were in that same position, what would they do?
Yeah.
What would they say? So when they're being mad, have they said things they regret? You know, so this was his reaction to some of the stuff that he was getting back, and I heard some of the things that were being said, and I thought, oh, that's a bit close to the bone. So that's what people need to understand. Don't be, don't criticise the man when you don't actually know what was actually being said in the crowd.